The thing that I liked most about Michael Jordan as a player was the fact
crosstown traffic and the green line whizzing by overhead.
Welcome fans to the All-Star Path Forward. And now, Path Forward, a three-time most valuable player, an All-Star.
Greetings everyone from Chicago, the host of the 1988 All-Star Game. Alongside the terrific Clark Kellogg and our reporter David Aldridge on the sidelines, I'm Kevin Harlan. And Clark, this terrific city has produced some greats, and 4 of them playing tonight.
You're exactly right, Kevin. The Windy City, Chicago, has produced Mo Cheeks, Isaiah Thomas, Doc Rivers, and Mark Aguirre, all All-Stars. I'm sure they've got plenty of family and friends in attendance to enjoy their performance on the court.
Yep, so much to celebrate. And Clark, is there a common thread when you think about a Chicago-type player?
Well, I certainly do believe there's a common thread. When playing outside or outdoors in the Windy City, the perimeter shot can easily get blown off course. So you got to be able to get that thing to the right and in a straight line fashion. And that's something all Chicago players share in common.
A lot of high flyers, you're right. And your West All-Stars, Fat Lever and Magic Johnson, the guards, Alex English and Karl Malone at the forward spots, and in the middle, Hakeem Olajuwon. For the East, it's Moses Malone inside, and Dominic Wilkins with Larry Bird, the forwards. And in the backcourt, Isaiah Thomas and Michael Jordan.
And you look at Larry Bird and Magic Johnson, rivals since college. Early on, no love lost between them, but over time, they've become friends.
And an exhibition game with plenty of motivation for these stars nonetheless. For more, let's say hello to David Aldridge.
Thanks very much. Now, I was talking to Larry Bird about his goals for the matchup, and he said, I think our job is to get the ball to Michael Jordan, get him into the game, and get the crowd into the game. So if Bird has anything to do with it, Michael Jordan will be the MVP. And that would be poetic justice this weekend. Guys, back to you.
Especially where we are. Well said, David. Thank you. Jordan Clark, obviously, in front of his hometown crowd. He loves it, and they really love it.
No doubt about it, Kevin. You think about the fans in Chicago. They love basketball. And I can expect, and you can too, a ton of energy, some extra adrenaline anytime Michael touches the ball.
Clark, this city is on fire with Jordan, aren't they? I mean, they love him, and they think about what's to come. My goodness.
Smoking.
Yeah, and he knocks down the first one. Clark, you see Larry and Magic together in those Converse ads. They've become really the faces of the NBA.
And, Kevin, I think they've inherited the mantle from the great Dr. J. He's done such a great job representing the league all these years, and certainly he's left it in good hands with those two.
And that's a great comparison. And tonight's All-Star MVP will have a $5,000 check presented in their name, Clark, to the Thurgood Marshall Black Education Fund.
A great cause in honor of a terrific American.
And the Eastern All-Stars favored to win tonight.
Star power and firepower, veteran IQ and smarts, but you never know. The West has quite a bit of talent too.
Indeed they do. Here's English after Moses Malone scored. Here's Olajuwon. Olajuwon with incredible footwork for a big man. Harkin amidst this all-star celebration, labor negotiations between the players and the NBA continue.
Trying to find their way through this current impasse, Kevin, and looking to avoid any interruptions to this game that we all have a love affair with.
Yeah, I know you and I hope they can find some common ground.
Please make it happen soon.
Now, here's Johnson. Following the miss by Larry Bird to the middle. The vision of Magic Johnson is unsurpassed. And if there was a snub Clark for this year's All-Star game, many felt it was the sharpshooter Dale Ellis of the Sonics.
Well, you take a look at what he's done. He's the only top 10 scorer in the NBA who was not an All-Star.
The Tennessee Volunteers should be here. And Michael Jordan winning the dunk contest yesterday, Clark. Can he add to his trophy case tonight?
Kevin, I think his teammates want to see him win the MVP. I think they're going to give him as many touches as he needs to have a chance to do it.
Oh, that'll be fun to watch.
And, you know, before every game, Karl Malone calls his mother back in Summerfield, Louisiana, to ask what numbers he should shoot for. Tonight, she said go for 25 and 11.
West All-Stars shooting their first free throw of the night. And the East All-Stars with some changes. Doherty, he's checked in for Malone. Ewing comes in for Bird. And it's Rivers in for Thomas. Then for the West All-Stars, Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for Olajuwon. Worthy comes in for English. Clyde Drexler has subbed in for Lever. And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the most All-Star appearances by far in NBA history. Clark, an All-Star in every season of his career except one. And in that year, he was injured.
Yeah, and at 40 years of age, matter of fact, the youngest player tonight was only 4 years old when Kareem made his first All-Star appearance. That player, Brad Doherty.
No kidding.
That's right.
And Kareem looking to set the career record for All-Star scoring. Isn't that something?
It really is. Needs just 10 points to do it, Kevin, and you got to love his chances. I mean, that's a layup for him, pun intended.
Good one.
Magic Johnson in his 8th All-Star game now, 2nd in All-Star votes this year, and he hosts his own All-Star game in the summer in L.A. as a fundraiser, and I understand it's quite an event.
Clark wide open, high scoring both ways.
These tremendous All-Stars are putting on a tremendous show, Kevin.
What a blast. First trip to the free throw line for him tonight. The West All-Stars making a switch here. McDaniels checked in.
Michael Jordan. One shot.
Free throw good, Jordan. And Michael Jordan won the dunk contest last night, and man, was it great. What a thriller. He and Dominique Clark put on a great show, and you could tell they both wanted it so badly. Perhaps the home court advantage gave Michael Jordan Clark the edge.
And there was another winner from last night, and that was Larry Bird, taking home the trophy in the three-point shootout. And he didn't even need to take off his warm-ups to handle his business.
Clark, somebody told me he looked at the rest of the competitors and said, okay, who's going to be in second place here? Who's going to finish behind me?
Sounds just like him.
A nice shot by Jordan. And starting last season, Clark, Michael Jordan's scoring went through the roof.
Averaging over 37 points per game, partner, and he's kept close to that pace this season as well. Remarkable.
Amazing and remarkable, right. Wow. With the drive, and not many out there who can elevate like Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan, not only last season's leading scorer by a mile, but Clark Kellogg this season, he is in the running for the Defensive Player of the Year.
He is the true definition of a two-way player. Gets it done at a high level at both ends.
2 seconds separating the shot clock and game clock. Drexler against Rivers. Clock at 4. It's good.
And enjoying his finest pro season, Clyde the Glide Drexler making his second All-Star appearance. Worked over the summer with Kiki Vandeweghe to substantially improve his jump shot.
Plenty of offense in this closely contested first quarter of play. West All-Stars lead by 1. And back in a moment as we'll get underway with quarter number 2. Welcome back, everyone, to the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. As these great fans hope Michael Jordan can bring home the win and the MVP hardware. And so Bird will bring it up for the East. They trail by 1. On the court right now as the second quarter starts for the West All-Stars. Johnson is out there with Lever. Then it's McDaniel. Then it's Olajuwon. And it's Worthy in at the power forward position.
And the head coach of the East, Mike Fratello. His first time coaching in the All-Star game.
Lever up top. He's guarded by Rivers. Pass to Olajuwon. And he uses the glass on the lane. Olajuwon's got 6 points. How about that? Mike's a terrific friend of yours and mine, and Fratello's Hawks recently moved into first place in the East after the Cavs beat the Celtics. Clark enabling him to become the coach of the East All-Stars.
So don't be surprised if the Cavs' Brad Daugherty gets extended minutes in his first All-Star appearance. You scratch my back, I scratch yours.
And here early, Clark, the East has the edge.
Look at that team on the East squad, an embarrassment of riches, Kevin. And, you know, they've got so many weapons. I think it simply comes down to execution for them.
Jordan, high post. He's against Olajuwon. And slam dunk by Jordan.
Another lead change. Back and forth we go as neither team willing to back down after a bucket.
Second quarter, we're a little over a minute and a half in. Outside Worthy. Now the pass to Olajuwon. Over Ewing. Another shot. Hakeem Olajuwon again. Olajuwon's got 6 in the quarter.
How about this list? Players who have never missed an All-Star game in their career. Jerry West, Bob Pettit, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, and Hakeem Olajuwon. Those last 3 playing here tonight.
Johnson, the pass to Olajuwon. And stolen by Jordan.
And, you know, so far, I like the effort from both teams. It's an exhibition, but each team showing great pride. They're getting after it.
Quarter 2 and just under 2.5 minutes gone by. Rivers against Lever. Pass to Johnson. Olajuwon. Shoots over Ewing. Olajuwon, no luck. And Clark, so much talent for each side, but they got to develop that chemistry on the fly, don't they?
Exactly. And that's what the coaches will be looking for down the stretch. Which group of players really complement one another and give you the best chance to win?
This is it to Olajuwon. Poke loose. Back to Johnson. His first shot coming late. And Magic Johnson continuing to orchestrate beautifully.
And Fat Lever snubbed a year ago, now a first-time All-Star, well-deserved. He leads the league in triple-doubles, one of the original stat sheet stuffers, averaging 9 rebounds a game as well, best by a mile for NBA guards.
And the East with some changes. Malone's checked in for Ewing. McHale comes in for Dominique Wilkins. And Thomas subbed in for Rivers. Malone's checked in for the West. McGuire comes in for McDaniel.
And Coach Mike Fratello, a colleague of ours, coaching in the All-Star game, standing tall amongst a bunch of tall guys in the NBA. You know, his dad was an amateur boxer, and, you know, I think that background gives Mike a lot of confidence as a coach.
Danny Ainge is checked in for the East. Abdul-Jabbar is checked in for the West. Drexler comes in for Lever. Jordan outside. Over Aguirre, and there's Jordan. That's good on the assist by McHale. Jordan's got the lead up to 7 now for the East All-Stars. And Clark, not easy for these coaches to put their stamp on the game. Only a 1-hour practice yesterday to get acquainted and move through some sets.
And, you know, Kevin, it's not about necessarily practice time. A few offensive sets is all that's needed. I think it's how you manage the players and give them a platform to have fun and do what they do.
That's a good point. Here's Drexler. East grabs the miss.
Total breakdown from the defense there. I mean, he'll usually take advantage when that's the case.
And now let's go over to David Aldridge with a report on Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Thank you, Kevin. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the oldest All-Star in history. This is his 17th game. No one else has been in more than 13. To put that into context, there were 6 players in yesterday's Legends game that were younger than Kareem. Magic Johnson says he respects Kareem more than anyone I know because of the pride this man has in whatever he does. Kevin, back to you.
He is a very proud individual. David, thank you. And Kareem's coming out here, Clark, after spending 2 days in bed with strep throat. I mean, it's remarkable.
And Kevin, that's exactly the pride Magic was talking about. And that's why it seems like every game we do, Kareem is adding to some type of record that he's already established. Tonight, he could very well become the leading scorer in the history of the All-Star game.
Isn't that phenomenal? They call him captain for a reason. He is truly the leader of this entire NBA.
Yes, sir.
He gets it in there.
Jordan often gets his hoops off the dribble, but he also is capable as a catch-and-shoot guy.
Right wing. Outside, Malone. Outside, Aguayo. Johnson kicks to Drexler. Shot clock at 6. Malone trying to break free. Out that one, and the East All-Stars lead has been cut down now to just 7 on the bucket from Clyde Drexler. There's 31 seconds left in the first half of the game. Danny Ainge has developed into an elite marksman.
And Ainge this season has hit a three-pointer in 23 consecutive games. That's an NBA record, and that is his game, making threes. Magic Johnson leads the league in assists, and he's also got the most assists in All-Star game history. He processes the game at another level, folks.
He gets that one. Jordan's got the lead back up to 10 now for the East All-Stars. Johnson surveying the floor. Pass to Aguayo. Johnson outside. And the last shot before the buzzer is off. And so that brings the first half to a close. East All-Stars ahead, leading by 10. And we'll be back right after halftime for the start of the third quarter. We'll see you in a bit. And we welcome you back to the second half of the 1988 All-Star Game here in Chicago. Great performances from these players, whether it's their first time participating or their 17th. The East leading by 10.
You know, you get into the latter stages of the game, and it's normal to wonder who will take home the MVP trophy. It's certainly one of those accolades that's mentioned when you talk about the great ones.
They've got Bird. Jordan is out there with Thomas. Then it's Wilkins. And it's Malone in at the center, locking down the middle. That's the group for Mike Fratello getting going here in the second half.
I don't think you can ask for a better look, just not the result they were looking for.
And the players in tonight's All-Star Game, Clark, 2 have won MVP trophies in this game before. Larry Bird and Isaiah Thomas.
And how about this, Kevin? Thomas has won 2 out of the last 4 years. If he was to get 3 MVPs, that would put him in some rarefied air, tying with Oscar Robertson for second most. Bob Pettit is the only player to do it 4 times.
And Clark, when you look at Hakeem Olajuwon's Houston Rockets, here is a team making a lot of moves.
I tell you what, their trade for Joe Barry Carroll and Sleepy Floyd paying huge dividends. They're certainly on the rise in my mind.
Yeah, a lot of people like those moves. And here's Thomas, who brings it up for the East. And the East with the lead.
Living up to that favored and top billing and giving these fans quite a show.
That Lever is a remarkable rebounder for a player his size.
Great size and scoring ability. Hakeem, a tough assignment defensively. Drawing whistles, drawing fouls, nothing new for him.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight. And the East All-Stars decide to take their first time out here. Here's Jordan. 37 points for him. Over Lever. A nice shot by Jordan. Jordan's got 39.
Another big night for Jordan. What a natural scorer he is. MJ simply can do it all.
And Clark, a slow start for Michael Jordan is beginning now to get some momentum and heating up.
And the fans starting to take notice. They're feeling it a little bit, making some noise. They're certainly hoping he can make it happen.
Just a little over 90 seconds gone in the third quarter. Olajuwon finds Lever. Malone sets the pick for Lever. Malone trying to break free.
I like seeing Malone, a solid defender, get a hand up and challenge the shot.
Bird's shot is good.
Larry Bird had it going last night at the Legends game, trying to fill it up tonight as well.
Johnson dishes to Olajuwon. Malone. And it's slammed in by Malone.
And making his all-star debut in his third year in the league, Karl Malone, one of 4 players in the NBA, averaging over 20 points and 10 rebounds a game.
And Bird gets it to go on the assist from Thomas. Thomas got 3 assists in the game. Johnson against Jordan. Johnson can't hit.
You know, there's been talk about adding a third referee to NBA games. The commissioner and the rules committee are in favor of it, and they plan to put it before the board of governors at the next meeting.
It's Lever on the wing. To the inside, Olajuwon. And it's Olajuwon with the jam.
Yeah, whenever Olajuwon has the ball now, he wants to take the defense to school, and I like his aggressiveness.
Johnson against Thomas. And it's Malone with the rebound. Malone's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. And Clark, with 3 officials working games, do you think that'll result in more fouls being called, more eyes on the ball? They can pick up a lot more, certainly, with more guys out there.
Yeah, you know, I think, Kevin, it might be the case early on with the 3rd official, but over time it'll smooth itself out. Off the ball, you know, some things you could get away with in the past, maybe not so much with 3 officials out there.
Olajuwon drawn the double team. Some nice passing here by the West. Outside for Lever. Clock is at 3. Over Thomas. Lever can't get it to go.
And, you know, most of these guys are accustomed to having their team's offense built around them. It's an adjustment for them now to figure out who's going to get the rock most of the time.
And Larry Bird winning 3 straight MVP awards from 1983 to 1986.
You know who the last player was to do that?
I know I'm going back to the 60s. Something. You tell me.
Yeah,
I know you
Bill
know.
Russell.
Yeah, right.
It's Bill Russell, 1960 to 63.
Of course. I'm glad we bring him up. A legend.
Yep.
Here's what the East is going with right now. Doherty, he's checked in for Malone. Ewing comes in for Wilkins. And it's Rivers in for Isaiah Thomas.
You know, part of what makes Bird exceptional is his all-around talent. I mean, he gets it done on both ends of the floor, and that's how you end up being an MVP in the league.
Team foul.
And you think about adjusting, Clark, how about the all-star reserve? Guys that start normally are the stars of their team, now off the bench on a team of stars.
Kevin, excellent point. For players who are used to starting the game, probably a rare experience coming in off the bench and trying to get it going. But I think these guys so enjoy being part of this, that sacrifice is not much at all.
You're exactly right. And the East All-Stars making a change here. Ainge is checked in. So Johnson hits 2 of them.
Making it look effortless. Send this guy to the start. Right, he's going to cash in more than not.
Now a timeout called by the East. And some changes in for the East. Bird, he's checked in for Doherty. Wilkins comes in for Danny Ainge. And Isaiah Thomas is subbed in for Doc Rivers. And here are the East All-Stars now. They've led by as many as 14 points. Here's Thomas. He hits the back iron and sinks the shot. Thomas got his first bucket of the night.
And, you know, they aren't showing any signs of easing up. Their offense looks superb right now.
Johnson, the pass to Drexler. The 15-footer, and it's good for 2. Drexler's got 6.
And at 26 points per game, Drexler ranks 7th in the league in scoring. His Blazers playing catch-up with the Lakers, though. Their improved defense has helped them overcome some early injuries.
The 3 from Thomas, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Thomas.
West All-Stars ball.
The West trails by 9. Johnson outside, and there's the pass to Drexler. Down low, and the jam by Karl Malone.
And the 6'9" forward, Karl Malone out of Louisiana Tech, playing for the Utah Jazz. Tonight, he's wearing number 7 to honor the great Pete Maravich, who himself was a 3-time All-Star with the New Orleans Jazz.
That one goes. Count it. Bird's got 8 points here in this quarter.
You know, when he's not beating you from the 3 or attacking the basket, Bird, very reliable from the mid-range.
Pass to Malone. Aguirre with it. Thomas covering. The 8-footer. That misses off the backboard. The East leading by 9. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock. And Bird gets it to go on the assist by Jordan. Bird's got 10 points in just the second half. And so it's Johnson who brings the ball up for the West All-Stars. He feeds it to Malone. That's the 6th make from the field. He's taken 9 shots and missed but 3.
I tell you what, the peripheral vision, the court awareness of Johnson, this guy always knows when one of his teammates is open.
Here's Wilkins, and the last second attempt doesn't fall. And so it's the East All-Stars ahead by 9 as the quarter comes to a close. They've set the tone. They love their tempo. They're going to be very tough to stop. Back to the action in just a minute. Welcome back to Chicago for the 1988 All-Star Game. The grand finale of what's been a tremendous weekend to celebrate the NBA. The West trails by 9.
You take a look at the landscape of the NBA, and I tell you what, that Central Division, dominant. How about this? 36 games above 500 combined.
On the court for the West All-Stars, Malone is out there with English. And it's Drexler. Then it's Lever. And it's Olajuwon in at the 5 spot.
Jordan's got a lot of flash to his game. A terrific guard, loves getting tricky with his ball handling and creating shots for himself.
Here's Olajuwon. Tries again. Malone trying to break free. Outside Thomas. No good from outside. Well, you look at that Central Division, all 6 teams on pace to make the playoffs.
And, you know, Chicago got off to that great start, Kevin. Then they cooled off just a bit. Now tied with Detroit at 3 games behind Atlanta. Those teams are breaked up pretty good.
The shot by Wilkins, no good. The West trails by 9. Here's English. The silky high release from Alex English.
You know, people said Alex English was too light of frame, too skinny, not athletic enough. Well, how about this? He's playing in his 7th straight All-Star game. So much for being too skinny.
Down the stretch here, the East, Clark out in front.
Getting it done. It's been such a fun game to watch. Entertaining from both sides.
Woo, it sure has been. English on the wing. That fall. Great assist by Lever. And it's 8 points for Alex English.
Alex English has a sweet jumper. A bit unorthodox, but nonetheless sweet and effective.
Here's Bird. Buries the 20-footer. And the East leads by 9.
You know, next time he has that much space, he should just go straight up with it and leave the fadeaway at home. Park that fadeaway. Take the shot that's available.
2nd minute off the clock now in the 4th. Lever outside. Clyde Drexler on the wing. Clyde Drexler soaring in for the finish. And if there's a rival for the size and athleticism of Michael Jordan Clark, it might just be Clyde Drexler.
I don't think there's any question about it, Kevin. The Phi Slamma Jamma alum can take flight with the very best of them.
Yep, great athletes.
And Commissioner David Stern in the house tonight. Since taking over 4 years ago, he's done a remarkable job helping guide this league to new unprecedented heights.
Exactly. Jordan with it. Picked up by Malone. And it's a new single-game record in scoring for the All-Star game. Set right in front of us by Michael Jordan.
What an incredible athlete, Kevin. And it seems whatever he sets his mind to do, he can do it. Impressive.
Drexler outside. Passes to Olajuwon. And Ewing sends it back.
Boy, Ewing using that size to make an impact on D. He loves coming up with the rejections.
And there it is for him. Jordan's. Got 45 points. One thing the league has done since Commissioner Stern has taken over, Clark, is really marketing the league around its stars. And I like that type of strategy.
I agree with you, Kevin, wholeheartedly. And what better time to highlight those great stars than tonight? Amazing talent, compelling personalities. The league is certainly on a great trajectory.
It absolutely is. Here's Wilkins. And that one clearly a foul. Gets the whistle, and 2 shots coming up.
Dominique Wilkins unafraid to put his body on the line, going right into that interior defense and getting himself fouled in the act.
Magic Johnson checked in for the West. That misses, so he splits the free throws. The West trails by 12. Lever drives in. Michael Jordan grabs the miss. Here are the East All-Stars. To the paint. He kicks to Thomas. Fires from deep. Good, and the assist goes to Jordan. And the East leads by 15.
And Thomas very capable of knocking down the tray. Got to respect his ability to shoot the long ball.
Oh, and the jam by Johnson. And Magic Johnson, Clark, made it clear coming into this game that he wanted the challenge of defending the great Michael Jordan.
He certainly did, and the West as a team will certainly have their work cut out for him trying to slow that guy down.
That is going to be fun to watch. Lever kicks to Johnson. Wide open. That one falls through. It's his 6th make from the floor this game, now 6 for 10.
Magic so adept at taking what the defense gives him. Nice shot.
They get it again. Outside for Thomas. From deep. And another 3 from the East.
And, you know, they're in great position here. Got to think they've done enough to win it.
Timeout called here. The West All-Stars decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 16. To play here in the 4th. We've got 1:28 left in the 4th quarter of this one. Johnson can't get it to go.
Very surprising that he came away empty there, especially given room to operate.
From deep. That doesn't go either for Thomas. The West trails by 16. And English kicks to Olajuwon. Trying to find Johnson. He's got it now. Some nice passing here by the West. Pass to Olajuwon. That shot off. Great defense that time from Ewing. Here's Wilkins. Not wasting any time and taking the shot and knocking it down.
And Dominique Wilkins is the go-to scorer for the Hawks. No question about that. And he's embraced that leadership role as well. Obviously a huge part of the Hawks' success.
Fades back. No good. The East All-Stars go the other way with it. Bird looking it over. Here's Ewing. Puts the fadeaway right on the money. And the East leads by 20.
And with Patrick Ewing leading the way, the New York Knicks finally competitive again. The big man has quickly found a rapport with rookie point guard Mark Jackson. They are a team on the rise. Book that. Hey, best of luck trying to slow Akeem down. Going up for a full-strength power jam. What a way for them to finish the game. Closing it out with some terrific play.
Johnson outside. And the Eastern All-Stars deliver. The favorites coming in. Clark, they did not disappoint.
Yeah, you looked at that team on paper and you saw they were the stronger team and should have been favored. But you still got to go out and prove it. And they did exactly that.
And so much scoring in that lineup for the East. My goodness, look at those names. That's always going to be tough to stop.
And you factor in the raucous crowd cheering on Michael Jordan, Kevin. No wonder they found that extra gear they needed when it was time to get it done.
That's a good point. This is Kevin Harlan saying thank you for watching. See you later.